Hey guys, I'm back with another reading lesson, and we're going to talk about the clues that readers use to know how to read a story. Did you know that any reader can be an expert reader? Even you can be an expert reader. You just have to pay attention to what you read and pay careful attention to all the clues that the author leaves and use them to know how the story wants to be read. But how do you do that? What clues does the author leave that you can use to bring the character to life? What helps you know when to take a breath or to stop as you read? How do you know what feelings to show with your voice? Does the author do anything to make words stand out? Well, we've talked about this before, and you might have seen it in your books. So in Mr. Putter and Tabby Drop the Ball, the book that we've been using, of course there's punctuation at the end of the sentence that helps the reader know when to stop and take a breath. If you see a period, you stop and take a breath. And there's clues to let you know how your voice should sound as you read each sentence. But is there only punctuation at the end? No, there's also commas and the ... or the ellipses. They also tell you to pause. If you see an exclamation point, you read with excitement. If you see a question mark, your voice goes up at the end. Sometimes there's words that are big or words that are in a funny writing, and they tell you to stress that word. Use your voice to stress that word. Also, you can look at the dialogue tags when you're reading. If it says cried, you read in a sad voice, cried Mr. Putter. Or whispered Mr. Putter, you read in a whisper voice, okay? So I want to show you a little bit in here on page 3. It says, it seems that we nap all the time. And there's a comma, so I'm going to take a breath. It seems that we nap all the time, Mr. Putter said to Tabby one day. Tabby was old and her frisky days were over. She loved napping. And there's a period, so I'm going to pause. She loved napping. I think we need a sport, said Mr. Putter. Tabby opened one eye. See how I paused after the comma? Now look at this, how baseball is written in a funny writing. So I'm going to stress that word. I think we need baseball, said Mr. Putter, and Tabby opened the other eye. I wonder where my old mitt is, said Mr. Putter. He headed to the basement. Now look at the exclamation point, so that lets you know to read with excitement. Tabby was wide awake now. So I read that sentence with excitement. Mr. Putter found his mitt. Now all we need is a team, he told Tabby. Mr. Putter called his friend and neighbor, Mrs. Teaberry. See how I paused at the commas? A comma, you take a quick pause. A period is a longer pause, okay? Now, here's another sentence that has an exclamation point. Mrs. Teaberry is talking. Of course there's a team, said Mrs. Teaberry. It's called the Yankee Doodle Dandies. Now here's a question mark. Listen to how my voice goes up at the end. Am I too old to play? Asked Mr. Putter. Heavens, no, said Mrs. Teaberry, handing Zeke a sniffy bone. And here's another word with funny writing. So I'm going to stress that word, young. You will feel young on that team. Okay? So I want you to practice looking at the clues when you're reading. By paying attention to all the clues as you read, you can make sure that your voice sounds the way the author imagined. And this chart will help you that I have up here. Clues that help readers know how to read. Look at the punctuation at the end, punctuation in the middle. Look for special words, special print, dark words, italic words, which are the words on the side, capital words. You stress those words. Look for the dialogue tag, shouted or whispered. Look at the pictures. If Mr. Putter is sad in the picture, then you're going to read in a sad voice. If Mr. Putter is happy in the picture, you're going to read in a happy voice. Like here, his face looks sad or worried, so you're going to read in a sad voice. Okay? So don't forget to use the pictures too. Now, before we go, I want you to check in with your goals. How are you doing with your goal that you wrote on the suitcase? Did you reach that goal? Or do you still need to work on it? Do you need to set a new goal? If you reach that goal, then you need to set a new goal. Add another Post-it to your suitcase. Once you reach a goal, then you need to set a new one. If you have not reached the goal, then you keep trying to get there, okay? So don't forget to practice looking at all the clues that the author leaves to let you know how to read the story. I'll see you next time.